Hello everybody, welcome to UK Gaming Network. I'm Brian, also known as UKGN Zoidberg, and this is Best 10, where I offer up my favourite games to fit a selected theme. It truly is a great time to be a fan of Amiga games, as we finally have details and a release date for TheA1200 from Retro Games Limited. Come June next year, I'm going to have a shiny, brand new, fully working A1200 sat on the desk next to me to my left, and I cannot wait. According to the trailer, there are going to be 25 games built in, although currently we only know what 9 or 10 of those are. Bizarrely, only The Settlers 2 and Defender of the Crown 2 are actually A1200 versions though. Games like Rough and Tumble and the Turrican Trilogy, great games though they are, never officially got AGA versions. And before you come at me in the comments, I know Beneath the Steel Sky was released on the CD32, but the actual game is exactly the same as the A500 version. All they added was the voices. Surely if you're calling a system the A1200, then what it needs to have on it is A1200 games. So with that in mind, and for a bit of fun, I thought I would pick my favourite games that should be included on the system. The games that I would pick to show off an A1200 to somebody who had never played on one before. With this video being out 3 days before the pre-orders go live, we will probably going to know what the 25 games are by the time you're watching this, and if that is the case, then consider this a list of the games that I think you should be including on the system as soon as you buy one. How many of these did I get right, and which games do you think should be included? Let me know in the comments. But without further ado, let's get on to the game that I've chosen as my number 10.
Deary me, guys. Do you have to take part in this supremely sad activity?
With 2 top quality adventure games already confirmed from Revolution Software, you may be thinking, does the A1200 really need to include another one? I would say yes, especially if it's one of the Simon the Sorcerer series, but also because it's a genuine AGA upgrade with beautiful full 256 coloured backgrounds. The Amiga version of the second game, sadly, only got released years after it was initially intended, and therefore is largely overlooked. It's an utterly charming, funny and engrossing adventure game that's truly one of the best around, and I think putting it on the carousel would finally give the game the attention from Amiga players that it fully deserves.
Good idea. They're too stupid to know the difference. Excuse me, I was wondering if you'd like this. Thanks, Sonny! Here, boys! We've got ourselves another stack! This should be a knockout. Okay, lads, let's begin!
Another game that, bizarrely, had a prolonged journey onto the Amiga was Putty Squad, and it was actually reviewed by many magazines back in 1994, and even had a cover disc demo released. The SNES version released as planned, but it wasn't until 2013, when an updated version was hitting PlayStation and Switch, that System 3 finally gave us the full game as a download via their website. I always found the original Putty to be a game that didn't quite reach its full potential, but the sequel was a huge improvement in every way, but most importantly, the level design. With over 50 levels to play through, it offers a meaty challenge to players as well.
Am I okay? I okay? Fire in the hole! Nitro. Fire in the hole!
I'm not sure that a company as high profile as Core Design would make their games available for inclusion, but if they did, Banshee is surely the best choice. This vertical scrolling shooter was an A1200 only release and features some truly fantastic graphics. There are so many little animations and touches throughout that you'll probably not even notice them all on your first playthrough. The gameplay is best enjoyed with 2 players, and my only real complaint is that I don't like the power-up system, as it makes it almost impossible to retain a decent level of firepower until you've practically memorised all of the attack waves. A bit of in-game music would have been nice too. There are so many platform games on the Amiga that it's very easy for some decent ones to get completely forgotten. Marvin's Marvelous Adventure from German developer Infernal Byte Systems is one such title. Very heavily inspired by the Mario games, this is a highly playable game and incredibly colourful, making full use of the additional colours allowed. You could argue that it's not a particularly challenging game, but it doesn't have to be, and I think marking it down for being too easy, as many of the reviews did at the time, is way too harsh. Like me, you'll probably have a great time playing it and then replaying it to try and find all the secrets, while at the same time the music will be burrowing its way into your brain without you even realising. Many developers tried to bring a top-down Zelda-like action RPG to the Amiga, but Legends from Chrysalis succeeded where the likes of Valhalla and the Spurious Legacy failed by not overcomplicating the gameplay and being great to look at. The adventure takes place across 4 different time periods, and the gameplay is more action-packed than you might think, whilst also constantly throwing new surprises at you. The boss fights at the end of each level are also surprisingly great too. The best reason to include it though is that being able to utilise save states will also allow you to avoid the game's biggest flaw, its annoying password system.
Round 1. Fight.
When it came to 1v1 fighting games, the Amiga was generally left behind, especially when you compare it to 16-bit consoles. Fighting Spirit snuck in under the radar in 1996, and is the one game that proved, with the right developer, it was more than capable of keeping up. It doesn't try to hide its Street Fighter influence, with a fight roster, character portraits and menus that could have easily interested Capcom's lawyers, but that doesn't detract from how good the game is. If you plugged a CD32 controller into your Amiga, you'd get the most out of the gameplay, but don't worry, it still plays really well with a standard 1 or 2 player joystick.
Round 2. Fight. Okay. Round.
If you're an A500 Mini owner, then you'll have already had the excellent Pinball Dreams as a built-in game. So how about we get another 21st century published pinball game for the A1200? Forget about the DICE-produced games though, as Slam Tilt would be my choice as it's the only one that's an AGA exclusive, and within its 4 tables there's not a single duff one. It's got some impressive dot matrix animations, the action is fast, super smooth and extremely good looking, but the real reason that I want to play it again is the fact that you now have a working keyboard. These games were designed to be played with keyboard control, and now we're finally going to be able to do so again. Originally released for the CD32, all Roadkill was missing when it came to the A1200 a year later was the rendered intro, so you didn't really miss much. This meant we still got an excellent arcade racer with a fantastic sense of style and atmosphere. The use of music to create tension during the races is just one of the ways that this game stands out from the competition. It's also a lot easier to learn the tracks, thanks to a 3-lap practice before each of the main races, and there's also a well-placed on-screen map that you can glance at for reference. A relatively small number of tracks and a lack of multiplayer are the only things that hold this back from being a true classic.
Record time. Jackpot. Last chance. Missiles. 2 million. 10 million. Jackpot.
Z-Wolf is the only game on this list that's also playable on a standard A500. What makes it the perfect fit for inclusion though is how much smoother the game is on the more powerful hardware, and secondly, how important keyboard commands are for being able to play the game properly. Think of it as a cross between EA's Desert Strike and David Braben's Virus, and you won't be far off the mark. Crucially, the simple act of flying your helicopter around the map is great fun, and that's before you even take into account the missions that you'll be required to undertake. From hostage rescues to full-on assaults, there's a great variety to the gameplay. Guardian was nicknamed the Game of Champions by Amiga Power magazine when they reviewed it, and I've always found it hard to disagree. It's essentially Defender in 3D, as you try to fend off waves of invaders and protect your city. There are many things that make it a great game and one of the Amiga's best. The visuals are fast and smooth, and even feature 3 different levels of detail that you can toggle through in the menus. The music is also absolutely fantastic. The control options are good too, with a solid mouse and keyboard option on the A1200 version, but even better, it's one of the few releases that actually made full use of the CD32 controller. Every button is used, meaning that you'll have full control over your ship, allowing you to put all your effort into setting your next high score. Simply brilliant. So those are my choices for the best 10 games that should be included on the A1200 when it launches. If you have enjoyed this video, please make sure to give us a like and subscribe, and maybe hit that hype button if you can. Channel VIP members get to see many of our videos early, including this one, which costs just £1.99 a month. If that's something that you're interested in, the link to our memberships is in the video description, along with all the links to our social channels. All previous episodes in this series can be found in a playlist if you've missed any, and that should be on screen now for you to click. Thank you very much for watching this video, and until next time, happy retro gaming everybody, bye for now.